Okay, today is Friday. I have one package that came in the mail, one possible TTM, and I have some collection updates. We'll start off with the collection updates here. We got 2 sheets of paper here, and this is my checklist for the Boy Scout Council shoulder patches. I purchased 2 last night, late night eBay. No, I was not under any kind of influence, but it was just kind of late last night, and I said, you know, I'm going to get 2 patches, actually 3, and it worked out fine because supposedly the one I tried to buy, there was a 1975 merit badge patch I tried to buy previously. It was still there and it was able to go through, so hopefully that will be coming fairly soon. And then I decided to update my list here because A, I couldn't find my list, and B, they usually rip to shreds. So you know, you're familiar with printer paper here, and what I have done was reinforced them with some sort of shiny duct tape or whatever that was, and then punched holes in that so they shall not rip. And I used 2 different colors. I meant to do 2 orange ones there, but the printer paper took 2 sheets and then did a white sheet paper, so no big deal there. But again, when I go through this list here and all those little dots there look like little ants there, they have not essentially gotten even half of each column there. There's only a couple on this one that are approximately half of the column. So I don't even have halfway through. One of these, I think this was 350 patches, and this might be a little bit smaller there, and that's lots and lots and lots of work there, even at $1 a piece. We'll do this one next here, and this is out of Phoenix, Arizona. I'm not exactly sure what this is, but it's a recent one, a Betty White stamp here. I'm getting mostly requests that are relatively recent send-outs and not any old ones. Very many old ones here. This one here is Jim Marshall, which I just sent off. One of the cards almost got bent. Almost a crease in there, but not quite. I had picked these up, I think, relatively recently, and this is Jim Marshall for the Boston Red Sox. Very cool to have a 60 tops there, very nice there. Goes with a vintage theme today, and Jim Marshall has a pretty good autograph there. It almost looks he did like only one Marshall with 1 L instead of 2. Interesting there how he's done that there. And I believe this one has 2 L's. It's hard to tell, but yeah, it almost looks like Jim Marshall with 1 L. Interesting there. So there are those 2. Different photo shoots from what I can understand there. Different hat there. But again, you can see a lot of cards, people are looking upwards to the sky. They had him looking upwards so that his hat was blocked off with a logo. That is not, the PC that I'm working on here. This is COMC, and we've mentioned several times here, instead of going to the shipping that is one shipping for all, it's something like a per card basis. So I did a test of 53 cards, and I took it out of my cart. I just bought every card of one example, a base card, and it came out to almost $19 in shipping. I said, heck no. I tested one card, it came out to $5.99 for one card, and these 23 cards came out to $11.99, 23 or so, came out to $11.99 shipping, but I had a $5.99 shipping credit or something like that for spring cleaning or whatever it was. Some of these are actually TTM purposes, and this got here very quickly here. There's another COMC.com sticker, like I really needed that one there. You can always put an unsmiley face in the O right there, if you're unhappy with their services. Again, there's top loaders here, like I need like a hole in the head. But we have Woody Woodward there. Oops, let's get this one out of here. This just happens to be sort of part of my PC. So a lot of the people are deceased and also non-deceased here. So you'll see a theme here in a minute here. There's Woody Woodward, 66 tops there. Virtually no background there. And then we'll have this one here. This is Doug Rader. He just happens to be a card that I grabbed here. I did not have a 70 Doug Rader. Look at that one there. Virtually no background. And then so those are the 2 cards that are in top loaders here. Then we have a bunch here in a team bag here. Let's get this out of here. Most of these guys are deceased, but I will probably try to tell you which ones are not. Frank Quillisi, And you can see a theme here. We got clouds in the background. So what I'm doing is a kind of a cloud only PC. I wanted to say head in the clouds or some sort of heavenly PC, or I forget what I called it, angelic PC or whatever like that. And again, eventually there'll be tributes to everybody in here. But we got, Doug Rader with clouds, Woody Woodward with clouds, and Frank Quilisi with clouds, and clouds only. And that's really what I'm trying to go for. There's a few exceptions, but most of them, if they have other stuff in the background, and there's not a lot of these. There are not a lot of these. There could be 50 of these, but maybe not even. So let's go to the next ones here. And I bought duplicates here. We'll just show you before I get to the other ones here, the random card that I bought. Oh, actually this is numbered. Oh, great. That's cool. I thought this was non-numbered here. But this is Marvel What If, and this is number 287 out of 888. I just liked it. It's got like fireworks or something in the background, and I thought that was a really neat card there. This was like, I don't know, whatever cents it worked out to, but with the shipping attachment to it, this is probably like a 60-cent card instead of like a 30-cent card, 35-cent or whatever it was. But I think that's kind of a neat. The design is okay, but I like the background with the fireworks in the background. It doesn't show up well on camera. So we'll show you these here, and we have John Blanchard, and we got John Blanchard in the clouds here. There's that one there, 66. Most of these I did not have. We have Al Spangler in the clouds here. And Al Spangler, he is still alive, and I will try to get him to autograph that one. Then we have another John Blanchard, so I picked up multiples, different borders, different conditions. I wish they would have said how much these were on here, but again, I was so glad I got the $5.99 shipping discount there. That was the John Blanchard I just showed you. Hopefully the clouds are showing up. Incidentally, this has clouds here. Kind of reminds me of the old General Hospital theme music. That's not what got me interested in necessarily this here. But there's some other music that kind of got me into it. And then we have Gene Green. There's a rip in there. I know there's a little bit of a tower there, but Gene Green was one of the first ones that got me inspired because of very low level clouds there. I just think these are probably all spring training there, but Gene Green there. Hopefully these are showing up in the penny sleeves. Second Gene Green, and some of these are very muted colors, and some of them are very bright colors. So we got two different ones here. Well, I'll show you this one and this one. One is very blue, and one was not very blue. So that's another Gene Green there. So we have lots and lots of Gene Greens. Again, if that wasn't there, that would be super perfect. But I can't win them all. That's one of the few exceptions. There's another Gene Green. And we have a very blue Gene Green here, deep blue or whatever it is. So much different there. The backs are pretty much all in good condition here. Again, not the mintest cards in the world, but most of them are crease-free, and that was kind of my goal, is to get as many crease-free cards as possible. I stayed in the the 30-odd cents on up to like 70-odd cents for the most part. A rare exception was $1. We have Woody Woodward, and I got that just for TTM purposes, not because of any sky in the background, and it's mostly not sky, so that does not count. Then we have another Frank Quilisi right there. So there's that one there. I believe I already had that card. Another John Blanchard. And it's kind of fun to see like the print qualities, the colors, and the brightness. Some of these clouds don't show up in some of the cards very well, and some of them show up very well. Whether those are composed pictures, out of two, or they were actually like that. And another dark blue Gene Green. So some of these have environmental damage over the years, and some of these were just printed, differently. If you flip this, I don't know, it just looks cool right there. Like, it's hard to explain, but it's, I don't know, it's, I don't know how to say two-tone or anything like that, but it's like different, it looks like different layers there with Mr. Green. Then we have Jerry Davy, 60, and this is also, again, a clouds-only PC. So there's that one there. Then we have Al Spangler. Did I show that one, or did I already have that one? I don't know. There's another Al Spangler with clouds only. Then we have another Gene Green. Then we have another Jerry Davy. I have two more of these on the way from eBay. Again, this will just be my cloud binder PC. Then we have Woody Woodward again. I don't know if I've shown this one here. So there's Woody Woodward with clouds only. There's that one there. And a lot of these are from '66. Johnny Blanchard. Again, I think he's passed away. Quilisi has passed away. And this one, this last one here, this is the last card of the show. This one is Toast. And again, it's another cloud only, just barely. There's a little bit of something on his shoulder there, but clouds only. And this is Toast. But I just thought it was super cool. These 69 cards here, some of them have brilliant pink backgrounds, and some of them have really kind of like gross pink backgrounds. I'm not exactly sure if it's a print quality or if it's just, you know, some of them kind of have like a yellowish pink or something. It's just really icky back. But this one's really cool because it is just super toast. You know, another Doug Rader, which I'm going to get sent out probably today or tomorrow. And then I just think it's really cool because it's massively cut wrong. And I just, you know, I didn't want to pay $1 for this card, so I paid whatever. You know, I just wanted this super ruined Doug Rader. And they were probably wondering, what the heck am I doing with this PC here? Whoever pulled these cards is probably like, this is super weird. They would get all these baseball cards and then Marvel What If numbered to 888 for like a few cents there. Just very unusual PC. So why did I think, I just trying to figure out what was going on here. So I'm not exactly sure, but I was looking at cards. And I was looking at, you know, obviously people that would sign and researching people that sign and don't sign. And then I was picking up some cards. It's like, oh, that's kind of unusual. There's no background, just, you know, clouds in the background. And if you know anything, I live out in the middle of nowhere and I get to see lots of clouds out by the fields out in front of my, you know, out in the driveway. And, you know, I like outdoor hiking. It's just a combination of everything. And then there was like certain little bits of music that I was listening to that had kind of like a, I want to say heavenly, but just kind of had that kind of, you know, there would be a logo, TV logo that would show up with something like that. And again, the General Hospital thing came to mind a little bit. And then like this, you know, if you look at lots of old postcards, you'll see like this, you know, either altered or actually real color sky with all kinds of stuff in the background. And maybe they have deleted all the extra buildings just to focus on the one. But everything seems such more rural and open skies back in the day. And I just thought that was kind of a interesting and unusual. And I'll just do a recap here and kind of show you each one here. Trying to do some pictures, but you know, we got Rader and Blanchard and Quilisi, and we've got, you know, Green. Again, that sky is not super awesome there. And then we've got the Jerry Davy, you know, with all the clouds there. And again, I'm trying to go for more of this kind instead of the landscape, but you can't get, you know, I just pick whatever I wanted to here. And then we got a couple other ones here for TTM purposes. Again, this one is just TTM here, but you know, again, it just kind of, I don't know, it just looks very kind of old and vintagey. Again, when I'm watching old black and white movies, you know, and sometimes the beginning logo or Republic or whatever it is, you know, with the, you know, you see the clouds in the background. It just reminds me of some of the old vintage films too. That's kind of what got me. It just is not one thing, but it's a combination of everything. So I don't know. What do you think of this kind of unusual PC? I don't really know what to label. If you can give me some ideas of what to call this. And again, duplicates do not bother me at all because I like the color variations in the printing. And I think this is kind of a unique PC that I can build onto. If you can alert me to other cards that you might find that, you know, now if it just blue in the background with no clouds, I don't want that. This one came awfully close, but you know, I wanted that because I believe he still signs. So I'll go through these, figure out the signers, get things set up and put together. Hope everybody has a great weekend, and thank you for watching.